Statman Dave, let me start with you because United are your team.
Yep.
So this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjær has played 3 at the back and outthought Jurgen Klopp. He's beaten. Hang on, what are you laughing at, Micah? Hang on.
Wait, this is serious broadcasting. This,
right?
Mark, you continue. Ignore this.
In that first half, they got the better of Liverpool in that.
For a half.
For more than a half. They've beaten Jose Mourinho and Tottenham at Old Trafford, and they've gone and beaten Manchester City. The point being, are they better as the underdog? And is that concerning when it's something like Everton at home on the agenda?
I think they have. They've performed very well against the top 6 sides. They've got the best record since Solskjaer took charge. And I think it suits the players. I think the space suits Dan James. It suits Marcus Rashford. It suits the counter-attack. And that is a good thing because you think in those bigger games, in maybe the cup competitions, where United want to be is back in the Champions League, you have to have that ability to break, to counter-attack. So it's more that United need to work on their possession play with signings or with a strategy there. And I think that's the exciting thing as a Manchester United fan right now. The hardest thing to do is beat the big teams. And United are doing that at the moment. It's just simply been able to deal with an Everton. No disrespect to Everton, but they will expect United to have the ball. And I think that side of who has possession for Manchester United now is quite important in terms of who wins the game.
Why did you giggle all the way through doing this on the telly? Did you giggle at Kelly's questions on the telly? No, you didn't.
You were giggling last week at 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Showed her more respect, didn't you?
Yeah, but that just says that United players have got a weak mentality.
Well, the bigger point was, do they have a problem when the onus is on them? Is that a psychological thing, or do they not just have the creativity to break down teams that set up more defensively against them?
When they've got a big match and there's no pressure on them to do well, they do well. When they've got to go beat a team for 3 and 4 games, they crumble. Do you know what I mean? Because I just think the mentality at United at the moment is wrong. They've done well of late. Do you know what I mean? I can't say they haven't, but you know, if they want to be taken seriously, they've got to win against Everton.
They also want
as simple as that.
I mean, he's right, but the fact is they also like to have the ball and space to run into Manchester United. And when the teams sit deep and they don't have that space, you want to see the players coming and getting on the ball and still trying things. And okay, it won't be successful every time, but you know, you saw the highlights. I think certain people showed clips of the Sheffield United v Manchester United game when they highlighted that the front 3 aren't even showing for the ball at times. That it's really glaring against the teams they're supposed to they're supposed to dominate and beat. You need your front 3 like this team we've got behind us, Liverpool, at the moment. They still all want to come the ball. They want to do 1-2s. They want to do this.
But then at Manchester City, Martial did actually show for the ball. He did drop a little bit deeper. He did try and create some space in behind him. So is there sometimes?
I think Martial is top quality. I think Rashford is top quality, and I think James has got enormous potential. But if you want to be taken serious in the Premier League, you've got to do it consistent. And I know they're still only young, but Rashford's been around for 5 years now. Martial, he scored a lot of goals, but normally when it really matters, they don't show up. And I think that's where there's frustration for the Man United fans.
But I think the thing with Marcus Rashford, I don't think he's in that category. He's been directly involved in 56% of United's goals in the Premier League.
Okay, but how many goals did he score last season? 10 in the Premier League. But being around for 5... He's young. What's young now?
But then I would define 22 as still very young in the world of football, right? Okay?
Not if you made a debut at 17.
The front 3 of Liverpool, right? Mane, Salah and Firmino, they're all quite old. At 22, they weren't doing it at this unbelievable level.
But how long... I understand what Mike's saying. How long have they been in the Premier League? Let's think about Wayne Rooney, right? And I'm not... I think it's tough to compare Rashford to Rooney, but I saw Rashford compared to Cristiano Ronaldo in the paper the other day, and the stats are quite similar. So we're comparing him to someone who broke into the team quite young. At 22... Wayne Rooney was light in the play.
So at 22, Wayne Rooney had scored 12 goals against the top 6 sides. Marcus Rashford has got 13 at the moment. So I agree with you guys that the consistency that he's getting this season may not have been last season, but I think there's real potential there in these big games. He actually stands up.
I actually think we're seeing Marcus Rashford develop. At this current time, I think we're seeing the development from a boy into a man. Maybe it's over the course of a season, but I actually think we're seeing it. But Mike is right, as a front 3, they're not necessarily stepping up consistently enough over the course of the season. It's like they've performed in the big games and we'll easy win next week. They'll turn up and, you know, one of us will score a goal. Where they need to be on it every single moment of every single game of every single season. So that's where they need to bring that consistency.
Do you think that improves if Manchester United consistently play a front two? Do you think that would? We saw it like Sheffield United when they went for it. They played pretty much a 4-2-4 shape. You had Greenwood in there, Martial in there, along with Rashford and Dan James. Do you think that would change something if United do go maybe a little bit old school, have an extra attacker in that central area?
I just think we can look too much at stats and everything. I think a lot of excuses are made for players with the age because they're still young, but he's been around for long enough now. Like I was saying then, I just think we keep making the same excuses. I think now they have to step up. Abraham, similar age, is his first season in the Premier League with a top 4 team, and he's banging in goals. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
So, why do we have to keep making these same excuses for the player? Like, Martial got bought for 70 mil or 50 mil plus add-ons, whatever it was. And we're still making the same excuse that is young. When does it be, you know what I mean? It's played in the Premier League, 4 or 5 seasons now?
Just on the side of young English players that potentially got stick previously, Raheem Sterling was a great example. So in the Premier League, obviously started in 2012.
How old Sterling?
Sterling's now 24, 25. He's 25 now. So just turned 25, right? So he only started performing at about 22, 23 in terms of his goals.
No, but he's different because Rashford, how many times in interviews says he wants to be a striker? Sterling's a winger, so...
But I think Rashford is a winger. I think that's the side.
Wait, that's what this is. This is
again,
why.
Again, it's a good.
This
good
is
part
why
of it.
with
That's
United.
my opinion.
United, you know, opinion. You watch United more than me, but how many times have people saying, "Oh, Rashford needs to play up front. He has 4 or 5 games up there. He doesn't score, or he needs to play on the wing." He goes and plays up front for England. Then, because he don't score, he needs to play on the wing. Every time we just make it an excuse for what he is. I don't believe he's a number 9. I think he's better off the wing.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. And his numbers for playing on the wing over the last 10 games
have been very, very impressive.
Phenomenal.
But you'd still class him as a striker, even though he's playing off the wing. I would still class him as one of the front 3. You know, you look.
I think the interest is like the development of Marcus Rashford. Right now, he really, really suits playing out wide left. Sorry. But maybe in 2-3 years, when he bulks out a bit, gets that sort of real physical, is sort of how his body's changed over last year has been pretty incredible. But if he gets bigger, gets more built, maybe a number 9. And I think you look at someone like Robin van Persie, played on the left, played on the right, played as a 10, played as a striker, and then became this Premier League all-time scorer.
He could absolutely change, but I don't think we're having this argument here. Is he a striker? Is he a winger?
Yeah.
He's still a striker. He's a part of a front 3. That's modern football.
I agree with that.
Let's just, again, Liverpool, because they're on the telly behind us. Mane's playing left wing. Is he not supposed to score the goals he's scoring? He's as a striker, he can play through the middle. He's a similar style of player, but he still classes himself as a striker. He's part of a front 3. He's part of a strike force.
No, I agree with that. It's the defining football, isn't it, of what is a striker and what isn't a striker, what is a forward.
I agree. I agree with you. I think he's top quality
because he's 22 years old and the man's smashing it at the moment.
No, I agree with you. I'm not. I think Rashford is top quality. I think he's one of the best young players around. But we can't keep making excuses if he doesn't do well.
So this is the season, for example, if he goes on to score 20 goals in the Premier League, he's on 10 at the moment, goes on to 20, now this is Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, I agree.
Fine. That's perfect.
Put your cup of tea down now.